All right, rolling.
We're rolling.
So Dylan told me to give a pause before because there was the intro, the one that I funnily made last time.
Yeah.
So let us know if you enjoy it, the new intro. But welcome back to another episode of Mike and Dylan Hate Drama, where we give advice to the people and read "Am I the Assholes" from Reddit, because I don't know, people like to hear that stuff.
We don't have any Reddit reads today. We just have
Just advice
that people submitted on the website. Mike and Dylan Hate Drama, MikeandDylan.com.
Oh man, we knocked that out of the park each time. On our own though, not in front of the, which I guess is good to perform in front of a camera, but not in front of the camera. We just botch everything we say.
I mean, it's the same as your OnlyFans content.
It'd be like a porn star who couldn't get it up like anywhere else except for when he's being recorded. It's like, look, I'm just so used to
game on.
Yeah, I'm a worker. Look, I put in work, and that's the only way I can get it up. So we are recording this episode on Mother's Day. It's going out tomorrow.
Yep.
So
Monday morning you'll hear it, but we are currently Sunday morning sitting here.
Right, we are ignoring our wives right now to shoot a podcast.
They're still sleeping. Mine is.
Yeah, mine is too. Yeah. So yeah, they get that luxury. So a lot of people will be like, Mike, what'd you get Amy for Mother's Day? And nothing. Like, why am I going to get you a gift for doing your job? What the fuck? What kind of society do you live in where you get gifts for taking care of your responsible motherfucking abilities, baby?
Did you say that to her?
No, fuck no. Definitely not. She could punch. She has a pretty good punch on her. Speaking of punch, the big thing on social media right now, it was 100 people versus a gorilla. Which, listen, that's actually a sad concept, because all the gorilla would do really is like try to run around and avoid the people, and we sweat. That's how we keep cool. But mammals like that, they pant. So he just eventually like back up until like he pretty much overheated and died of exhaustion. Mm-hmm. So people arguing about that, it was just like when I saw it, I'd be like, it's a lot sadder than you guys would make it out to be. And gorillas are they're always fucking sweet too. Even the big scary ones, they're just out there just fucking chilling with their family, playing with each other. So of course people were like, oh, I bet 100 of us can fucking kill one of those things.
I have no concept of this story, so.
How do you live under a rock?
I just don't.
Oh, yeah, bro. It was 100 people versus a gorilla, and then it shifted to 100 people from America versus 100 people from UK, which I don't know if they know this, but we already fucking settled that debate like 300 years ago. So, I mean, I can tell you, look, I'm gonna tell people right now how exactly 100 Americans versus 100 fucking people from the UK would go, all right? Imagine just a bunch of people, just a bunch of British people standing in a field, all right, talking about whose mom has the best brittle skish panty whomper pie, all right? And they're like, where the fuck are the Americans? They're late. We're not late because we're scared. We're late because time zones are a bitch. Yeah, fucking time zones are confusing as a motherfucker. And America's humongous. You can fit a bunch of the UKs in America. They talk about we're not well traveled, brother. I've been to like 13 states. That's like being to 13 countries. That's well traveled for anybody else in the country. But imagine they're just sitting there, just like waiting on us, and then off in the distance, they're fucking just like. They start to hear Toby Keith's Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue playing from like over a hill. And they're like, what the fuck is that? And they're staring. And then all of a sudden they just see a line of 5 just big fat motherfuckers in the little Walmart hover rounds coming up a hill. And they're like, what the fuck is this? And it's the battle music. It's starting. Like they understand fully what's going on now. Nothing represents like America, the nation is coming at you now. The 100 people that represent us. Then the people who would probably be in a little bit better shape if they just got off that and walked.
Can we get Mel Gibson to give us the Braveheart speech?
Look, Mel Gibson's crazy. That motherfucker knows how to make a movie. Like he knows how to make a movie. That man lays it down in Hollywood. All right. So look, the five little fucking hover around fat people, they're coming up. All right. Now our population is like what, 13% black people?
I would say it's more than that, but I don't know the numbers.
I think it's like 13%. Listen, people are going to be like, Mike's fucking looking at internet jokes. That's why I know that fucking percentage. Gen Alpha's wild with that shit. So we got 13 black people. The UK actually had to look it up. They're like 4% black. I mean, right there. So, I can tell you
We're
who's
winning.
winning. Yeah, I can tell you who's winning right there. All right, but they're gonna like try to, they're gonna try to flank us. They're gonna want to flank us because it's hard to fucking. Imagine the offensive line we have with those people in the hover rounds coming up. So they're gonna try to flank us, but of course, we have 13 black people versus their 4 black people. We have the upper hand on that. So like they know they can't go around. They just got to wait. They got to fucking brace themselves and try to just like smash into the line. But that's when all the fucking just like the cornbread fed country boys, they each grab a fucking furry and just like huck it over. I'm talking about the ones that have like the nails.
How many furries are going to
and
be
the
in there?
butt plugs. There's got to be at least 2 or 3. In the crowd of 100, there's got to be like 2 or 3 of them. And we just launched that over the line, which starts complete chaos. Okay. Everybody's going just scared out of their mind. They don't know what's happening because now they have animal people attacking them. Then that's when all of a sudden ankles are breaking everywhere because there's holes dug all over the place. Rednecks just digging holes all over the field because they didn't have nothing better to do. Fucking just dig a couple holes. You know what I'm saying, brother? Bro, we would squash them. It wouldn't even be close, man. They were like, oh, we got soccer hooligans, brother. They're like, oh, look how we act with sports, brother. We act like that in Walmart, like at the grocery store.
Well, and have they not seen like Philadelphia after the Eagles won? Like,
have they not seen Walmart? Like,
yeah.
We don't even need sports to act crazy in public. What's so funny too is like they'll destroy their city if their team loses. We do that when we win. Like Philadelphia, whether they win or lose the Super Bowl, is just they know like there's going to have to be recovery efforts.
But are they like flipping cars and lighting them on fire and like having bonfire? Like, I mean, in England, are they doing that?
I don't think when they win.
That we do.
Not when they win. I think it's like when it's like a bad call, they'll have like the riots and stuff like that. I know when it's like 2 opposing teams.
But then afterwards, they're like having a beer with each other in the bar afterwards. So like it's
not the British, bro. British people, they don't get along, man. They divide themselves by like where. I mean, we divide ourselves too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think Americans unite on foreign threats.
Well,
like
also
they're really good about that. That's why I'm saying, man, we need aliens. Like if we wanted to unite as a world, that we need that. Like we need a threat that we all have to line up against. That's how, man. That's what's like beautiful about our country. 9/11, bro, we came together like nothing else.
That was like the one time.
Right. So now all we got to do to heal the country is one up 9/11. So
yeah.
If there's any country out there ready to do that.
Well, see, I think we would win against the UK simply because 40% of those people would have guns, and over in the UK there'd be like 0
zombie knives. We got to ban the zombie knife. Like imagine, hey mate, give me your fucking money, or I'm gonna stab you real nice up in the street, bloody hell.
Bang.
Right. Also, there was a lady. I think she got held up with a knife. Yeah, she was somewhere over there. And look, like I said, Americans, we don't look at the globe, okay? We don't know where the fucking shit is. We don't know where anything is. But she got held up somewhere over there with hey, mate, or not like that's Australia. We're fucking British, whatever. And she thought it was a joke. He was just like, yeah, give me your fucking purse. She was like, no, what? Are you being serious right now? Like, it's so cool too now that the Pope is from Chicago. Mm. There's one city that needs God. It's Chicago. Oh, that's just the jokes write themselves on that one. That one's not even hard to just come up with.
See, I think we need to stop looking for stuff on Reddit and just go with the current events.
What does the Pope do? Isn't it Catholicism or something?
Allegedly a bunch of inappropriate things, but...
Oh, yeah. That's a Catholic priest. But he's over Catholicism, right? Yeah. Catholics. I don't know all the difference between Christianity.
That's the craziest thing.
Catholicism, about Judaism. I don't know the difference in all those.
There's like so many denominations of doesn't matter. And I'm not just picking on Christianity, but like Islam and Judaism. Like there's like so many, like we can't agree on this. Like who's right?
Right. They all believe in the same God too, all the way up to like the... what is the one for Islamic? What the fuck religion is that? Muslim?
Muslim.
The Muslim
Islamic,
religion, yeah. So it's all the same God. Like the top dude is the same throughout. Like it's like everybody's like, all right, we know him. He's the guy. Like we know that's the guy. But who was the other guy? You know what I'm saying?
Who were the prophets? Who were the...
I think the Jews, they believed in Jesus too, didn't they? Because like Mother Mary's like
He
a
just
big thing in
wasn't-
theirs, right?
He just wasn't
No,
the
that's
son of God.
Catholics. Catholics have Mother Mary.
Yeah.
And then they believe, he just wasn't the son of God. And then Christians are like, Jesus was the son of God, but he's also God at the same time.
He's 3 different people all in one.
He's 3 different people, but the same person.
Yeah.
Fucking Inception right there. So it blows your mind.
We should probably stop before we.
Oh, yeah.
get
Well,
too deep in.
no. We haven't talked about any religion. We haven't talked bad about any religion.
We're just talking in generalities.
Yeah, they all believe in the same, the same big guy. They're all the Abrahamic or religions. Why that name though? Look, now I got to search. Now I got to research into it. That's what we should do. We should bring like a fucking Catholic guy on here. Yeah.
Theologian.
Yeah, theologian on here so he can explain the differences. I said we should bring a Catholic priest. And he's like, damn, man, y'all got any kids around?
Like, sorry, we're fresh out.
Toys. Like, is there? Look, there's just been enough of it where, I mean, the jokes are jokes. Got to deal with it. Allegedly. Yeah. I watched that one documentary. That shit was rough.
Well, the thing is
I
like,
remember none of it.
I think it's any position of power, like really, like, I mean, I remember in high school, there was always, the creepy teacher that would hit on like, teenage girls. And it's like, whoa, dude, like you're like 60. They're like 13.
And it's always like the real funny ones too, though. At least he's charismatic. At least he's not one of those.
He's a charismatic child predator.
If you're going to be a child predator, at least be an entertaining one to the other people that you're not predatorizing.
Hey, we have a shirt for that. I think I'm wearing.
Oh yeah, llamas like to kick, bite, and spit on predators. Me too. Well,
Find it at laborllama.com.
Look at that. That's the easiest segue we've had into the ad for Labor Llama, which is our company. It's not like fucking we're doing an ad for which. Bro, if we get big enough, how the fuck do I do an ad? Because everybody watches the podcast. I'm like, Mike, don't do that. Like if I'm like, oh guys, this good hand cream, get this good hand cream that makes your hands feel soft. It's like, Mike, we can see your fucking jagged ass hands, brother.
Well, they always say that if you're gonna take a sponsorship, it should be something that you use. So, I think we're gonna have a rough time finding
cigarettes and Magic the Gathering cards. That's all I got, brother. Like, I don't buy anything. That's the only things I can sponsor.
I'd be fine with one of these energy drinks giving us a sponsorship.
5 Hour Energy talked to me back in the day.
Yeah.
And then they followed me and kept commenting on a bunch of videos.
Yeah.
So I was like, stop fucking teasing me like that. And just
fucking,
which I know it's like ran by like a regular person. Regular people fuck with mine. Which makes, it's kind of funny. I don't want to get that person fired by saying this joke, but it makes it funny though, that they work for 5 Hour Energy and they like the Mike and Steve bits. It's like, yeah, here, fucking 5 Hour Energy. We got one of those guys down here too. So nowhere's safe. Speaking about getting your booty hole touched for nothing really, because the priests that do it and the teachers that do it, you don't get anything good out of that. But the Met Gala happened this weekend. All the richest people on earth thinking that they're
something.
They're this fucking third dimension fucking emotion feeling just deities dressed up in there looking like bananas and shit like that. And bro, art people are just, man, they're fucking wet farts. All right. I'm sorry if you're an art person. There's no art person looking at it, watching this. Some are like real people that have had real experiences. But the people at Met Gala are people that grew up affluent. Okay. They have been rich way longer if they have ever been poor.
Yeah.
So when you got someone like that who's never really had to face real hardship, they see other people facing hardship and they're like, fuck, I wish that was me because look at the adversity. But what if I just created my own adversity? Like, it's like they'll be dressed up as fucking Megatron, all right? And this is somehow the fucking best fashion on earth. Everybody is in wow. And they'll be like, how did you come up with this masterpiece right here? And they'll be like, well, COVID happened. So I had to sit in my $100 million mansion alone with only my staff of people who work for me that I never
32.
talk to because they're so beneath me.
My staff of 32.
Right. I had nobody to talk to because I didn't let them speak to me because obviously you got to do your fucking job. God, I pay you for a reason.
Hey, it's like what you said to Amy.
Right, yeah. Just don't fucking look. Don't waste your time here trying to talk to me. Okay, let me be alone and deal with my suffering in peace. So then they're like, "Fuck, this is my moment. This is what I want to fucking." And this is where I came up with it. I felt like the emotion was taken away from me from sitting in my $100 mansion.
$100.
$100 million mansion. Well, all my staff were working around the clock for everything I needed. I was like, man, right now, I feel like a robot.
I'm so oppressed.
Right. I'm so oppressed and emotionless that I just felt like a robot. So this is the robot outfit I came out with to represent that.
And then I had somebody make it for me.
Right. Yeah. I had somebody make it for me. It was made by fucking world renowned. You don't know what their name is. Look, they're known, I guess, well enough because, you know, also other countries, which shout out to other countries. They have like a lot better like maternity, paternity leave and stuff like that. So their hardships are a lot different. So I think once like you get enough hardship down, that's when you get to think about the goofy shit, the dumb stuff that don't really fucking matter, which is like art.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, look at every place, like every city that really focuses on art. And I'm not going to call out any city, okay? But every city that heavily focuses on art are always shit towns.
I was hoping you were just going to like, I'm not going to call out anybody and then be like, this city, Winston-Salem.
Oh, no, it's Asheville. Like in North Carolina, it's Asheville. Winston is all kind of, I wouldn't say they're kind of there because they have more of a film scene.
Wait, so you're saying Asheville's shit? It's such a fun town.
Yeah, you would think that.
It's a fun town. They got great bands that come through there.
I'm talking about the people.
Well, I don't fucking live there.
People who fucking live there can tell you. They were like, yeah, man, everybody here is like, have you seen the South Park where they like fart in a cup and sniff it? That's what art towns are like. But art in and of itself is something that is to be like judged and people formulate opinions on. And once you have a culture that does that, obviously that culture breeds like competitiveness and then it turns into toxicity and fucking nut hugging. And they're always just the slimiest places on earth.
A nut hug doesn't feel good.
Last year at the Met Gala, you know, we've been in a shit economy for a while. Now people are fucking struggling. And they got that one bitch to say, let them eat cake. That's wild. Let them eat cake. I remember, I don't remember it because I wasn't there, but I remember reading about stories where like the littlest infractions and we were like fucking fighting. We were 100 Americans versus 100 British people, like real shit. But now it's just like, fuck, you can say whatever you want to because, and like collectively, everybody was mad at that. There were no people defending the let them eat cake thing. Neither side. No. Neither side of the political spectrum. And I was like, y'all know, like at this moment, okay, look, forget about everything else that y'all talk about and deal with. At this moment, y'all could just like team up and take care of that problem.
She was serious when she said that? Or was it like...
She was made to say it, I think.
Oh, okay.
The Met Gala is really people that are like, it's going to be a bit rough saying this, but it's like, fuck it, they're Diddy people. Like they're fucking... Yeah. You know, like if you think that fucking culture stops at Diddy and Harvey Weinstein, you're stupid. You're outside of your mind if you think that. So the Met Gala is like a who's who of what did you have to fucking do to get here.
See, I think all of it is like, you know, we started the conversation with the Catholic Church and all that other stuff, but like, I think that's the thing. And it goes all across society is there's like really shitty people and they're a percentage, but then there's like good people that are a percentage. And then there's just like, you know, really pretentious, narcissistic people they're not necessarily like evil, but they just give no shits about anybody else. And I do think that it's like, you know, those things don't change, whether it's poor people all the way up to rich people. It's just with rich people, the money.
Rich people have a lot more money to be like, all right, I'll give you this if you don't go tell people. Exactly. If you don't go tell the police, I will give you this amount of money. Yeah. How bad you want to be in this movie right now?
Yeah. But I think like it's still like those percentages. And it's anytime that power is involved that it then creates those people that.
But it is, I mean, it's a lot more prevalent in the cultures, like I said, that judge, like that their culture, their fucking hobby, whatever, is centered around judging.
Yeah.
You know, having opinions on something, trying to emulate emotion from nothing.
So I had a weird dream last night. Do you want to talk about it?
Fuck yeah, what?
So I had a dream that we were actually about to make a movie, and I've been watching The Studio with Seth Rogen. And he's like a studio head and stuff. And some reason Seth Rogen was like, yeah, I'll produce your movie.
Oh, fuck. I would nut in my pants like, if Seth Rogen was like, yo, I'll fuck.
And I was
I'll do a movie with you guys.
He seems like one of the most genuine like celebrities out there. Like,
absolutely. Like there are, like you said, there's good people and there's bad people. And you could tell who the fucking good people are.
You saw his thing with, I can't remember. He was in Pineapple Express.
James Franco.
Yeah, and like all the shit that he went through. And Seth initially was like, you know, he's a good dude. And then once he figured out that he wasn't a good dude, he's like, yeah, I'm not going to work with him anymore.
I mean, that's like if someone was like, you know, Dylan, 6 women have accused Dylan of sexual assault. I'm gonna be like, well, I'm not going to like the judicial system is supposed to work off of you are innocent until proven guilty. Okay. Yeah. So that's how I'm going to treat the relationship between us. Like if they're like, oh, these bitches are making shit up, I'm still going to fuck with my friend. All right. But if they're like, you know, here's the video of him in the massage parlor, and you're sitting there like trying to like,
that changes things.
Like, yeah, great. I was like, oh, brother. Like,
I have a new take on this.
Right. It's like fucking Deshaun Watson and Justin Tucker now. Which Justin Tucker, he just got let go from the Baltimore Ravens. Not for allegedly doing what I haven't even read up on that.
We do really like allegedly.
I look, yeah, it's good because I don't want to get sued. But really, what are you going to get? Like, what are you going to get? This paper?
They'll get a pod mic.
Yeah, they're like, but that's a stainless steel cup that you're drinking out of now.
We'll take that.
Yeah, you upgraded from the damn mason jar that you had. That's gone. That's ours.
I got that because you're always thirsty, and so I figured that's like 2 mason jars worth of water, so it should last you through the
it should. I do talk a lot, so my mouth does get dry. It does get dry. All right, well, we have 4 advice?
I think it's 4. Yeah.
A viewer had recommended calling this segment the right advice because my last name's Wright. Look, my name's Michael Wright. You could fucking Google me. Everybody's named that. Everybody around where I live. There's like 19 of us. Good luck. But so they used my last name to be like the right advice, which I didn't even see Dylan. So which one was? What is that on?
I think that was on. It was actually on Reddit. On our Reddit, ADHD.
I completely forgot I even started that. Fuck, I gotta get in there.
Yeah, I've been in there. I posted about episode number 7. I think the mayonnaise dick one. I think I like to reference that in every single
people
episode
love
going
that.
forward.
Like 90% of the comments I've seen in the past couple of days is about mayonnaise dick, and people they enjoyed that. And listen, there's people that they were like, hell yeah, with the cunnilingus training. Look,
one guy.
Now we're going to do a whole podcast
there was one
on
guy.
it. One guy. But yeah, but I like to think
he said let him
he represents the people
everybody.
Who he is. I hate this fucking look, I got one hair that just won't.
Just trim it.
I want to cut it all off.
Or you just chew on it.
I can't trim my beard without looking like I drive a fucking souped up truck and I park on the fucking divider line, so 2 cars can't. I take up 2 parking spots with my fucking.
Those are
truck.
mustache guys. Those aren't trimmed beard guys.
Those
are
mustache guys. It's trim.
They are volunteer firefighters that have like a Carolina squat truck. Like they're a specific genre of people.
Look, I was gonna say this in the last episode when we talked about that guy who was like, you know, I went to this interview, but he said I needed skills and stuff like that. There was one guy, I think his name's Joseph or something like that. He used to work at the place I used to work at, and he was a maintenance guy, had no prior experience. But this, like, if you're talking about, there are some people, like, you could tell that they're just like heart of gold type people.
Yeah.
That was him. And when he wanted to work there, and he's just like a country boy. He wanted to get a job there, but he didn't have any experience. And they referenced that, and he was like, "Yeah, but I mean, if you hire me, I'll gain the experience, and I'll be, you know, one of the hardest workers that you have." So they still hired him on because he was like, "Look, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I could do it even without having experience." They hired him on, and then like a couple months later, a maintenance guy left, so they brought him in, and he just like learned all that stuff. Then he went to be a firefighter, and like I said, that's one of the guys where he's just like
salt of the earth,
just good Pete. And then you got fucking just this sitting down here. Also, fucking exciting thing. Which has never happened to me ever. I've never got invited to nothing. Listen, no, I have never. I don't know what it is about my content. I think it's because I can't stop cussing. All right, and I'm a bit of a odd pickle, and I'm not somebody you want to bring around your brand to show off, to be like a speaking part of. But me and Dylan are invited to the NASCAR All-Star race next weekend in North Wilkesboro.
This weekend.
This weekend. North Wilkesboro Speedway. The Speedway invited me, not NASCAR. So shout out to the Speedway. I like to think there was some guy there that was like, "Oh, bro, I fucking love this dude. And he lives like right down the road." Yeah. And they were just like, "Oh, hit him up." I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'll do it." What?
Well, we got invited to Kersey Valley to do the haunted stuff.
Bit of a jump.
I know. It is a jump
between NASCAR and Kersey Valley.
But we did get to go through the haunt like 4 or 5 times, and after that, like you're like, okay, I've seen it.
Alithia wanted to do it twice every single time we went. after the first time, it's like, all right, I'm not. I don't want to walk 2 miles, brother.
Well, the first time we went through the water scene, like where I guess it was Jason or whatever.
Oh, yeah, and
it was
soaked
leaking.
us.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't
it's
know that we're supposed to do that.
freezing cold outside, freezing cold, and we're soaking wet. But what was so funny about that was Lithy, every single time she wanted to be like, Dad, let's go like 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And I was like, look, it's really starting to feel like you're like, I'm a little bit worried about Dad. Maybe I could save his life. But just being like, hey, Dad, come walk 2 miles with me. 4 times in one trip.
This is exercise.
Right. I've heard you hacking in the morning. We gotta get out here and start running. It's oh yeah. So we're having does it have to be that close?
The closer you get, the clearer the sound is. Then the noise is a lot less.
So they can enjoy the nice
Sultry
sounds of Michael Wright.
Somebody had mentioned that they wanted you to start reading audiobooks, even though you like struggle to read. They're like, I'd listen to it,
bro. But yeah, they would listen to it. Everybody else would just hear it, and then they'd be like, "All right." And then Harry, he jumped up on the desk, and he was like, "Hermione, I lost where I was at. Where
no, but that's
okay. He jumps up on the. They would not. They would think it was okay. Everybody would be like, "What the fuck is going on in this story?" Imagine buying an audiobook. That would be the greatest thing ever. And the guy's just like, fucking, he's like, all right, guys, I'm about to read y'all Harry Potter. So fucking gather around and just listen to what I'm about to tell you. All right. So we got 4 pieces of advice today. No, am I the assholes? Or
I think,
well, the last one's kind of like an am I the asshole?
I think so. It's a longer, more in-depth story.
Right. The advice is short. So I think what we should do is we should do like a couple advice, 1 am I the asshole. I got to save some of those for TikTok, guys. All right. Yes. There's only so many. There's like 1,000 of them.
Well, I don't think TikTok will ever get the submissions from MikeandDylan.com unless we cut it out of the podcast because it's good enough. But like, I don't think TikTok will ever get.
We do gotta advertise the podcast somehow.
Yeah.
I wish they would just let me go into the r/podcast.
Well, haven't you asked these people to share it?
No, brother, they won't do it. They won't do it. They won't send it to a friend. Like, come on, guys. Like, they're like, yeah, look, I'm like their guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't want anybody knowing I listen to this shit.
Right. The you is fine though. Like every comment is just like, I'm so glad like Mike has Dylan, who is like just like a normal person who can fucking like rein him back in.
There's only like 3
They're
of those,
proud of you. You are someone you could take home to mom. All right. I'm the thing that you leave at the motel that you just paid an hourly rate for.
Makes you feel good, but then makes you feel dirty afterwards.
Right, yeah. I fucking hate gay people. I'm not gay. I'm the one you kill because I'm like, I'm gonna spread your secret. Bro, I've seen so many stories of that on TikTok here recently where it was like a gay guy who hated gay people. Like he has a whole family and he quote unquote hated gay people, but he was like fucking with a dude. And then the dude was just like, live your life and be gay. And I'm gonna go tell people you're gay. And then he was like, no, you're not. Murdered. I was like, that happens way too often because we referenced it in the last episode or the episode before.
I think it was the last episode.
Yeah, the last episode. Where it's always the people who are just like
homophobic,
like super duper though. Like where I fucking hate gay people. They shouldn't exist. Abomination to God and everything. Fucking wipe them off the face of the earth. And then, you fucking 2 months later.
Hey.
Yeah. Or not even that. They fucking 2 months later, you see them on whatever county sheriff's page because they were fucking touching a kid. That's the wildest shit.
Yeah.
I don't understand too how just anybody in any religion. I don't know if they have fakers like everybody else.
I mean, there's people that are fully bought in, and then there's people that are.
I just hit the mic. Hopefully that didn't cause a really bad sound.
Oh, and when you slam it down on the table, it makes a really loud sound. Don't close it. Just don't close it, and then you don't have to open it.
It's like a Neanderthal over here. We can hear everything Mike's doing. I'm just gonna let people know too. I am. How do I say it? A theist, not an atheist. I am a theist. I believe in God, but I believe that.
So there's being an agnostic, like that was something that I had always like thought was like its own little tier. But
right.
There's agnostic theist who is like, I believe that there is something. I just haven't prescribed to a single like
right. I don't listen.
So you're an agnostic theist.
Right. I don't believe that. I believe in religion's man. That's my thing. Look, we're going to tell the people how it is. We ain't going to sugarcoat shit. All right. I believe that there is a God. I do believe that we were given free will. Free will means the absolute absence of any intervention. That's what that means. Like there is no miracles that are going to be performed. We are left to our own devices. And it makes a lot more sense too, because like having a God that's like, oh, I perform miracles, but then every day you read about children with cancer dying. Like humans, we're left to our own devices, and sometimes we reap what we sow. I mean, all the time we reap what we sow. Yeah. Humans pay for the sins of humans. But if you think about it in any other aspect, every religion is like, we were made in His image. All right, I love my kids unconditionally. So you can't tell me then that I was made in somebody's image and that He does not have the fucking ability to love without condition. Yeah. So that's another thing that gets. And if you think about the role of a father, If your child's child got cancer, can you perform a miracle to save them? Can you do anything? There's nothing you can do unless besides you're a doctor. Well, even doctors can't fucking. They can go visit 900 galaxies over, but they can't fucking cure cancer. But and for the people who listen, and I gave a look, that was like, I guarantee you, it's out there. They've had to have figured it out by now. They could do everything. They're making woolly mammoths, brother. Yeah. Are you telling me they can make a whole thing, but they can't take one thing out of a thing?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a profit margin thing.
It is. So a father's role is just to offer guidance, to be like a support, to give you fucking strength when you feel like you don't have any. That's the role of a father, to say that, hey, they're gonna like step in your life and perform miracles, but then at the same time say He gave us free will. That's the free will is the absolute absence of any intervention. So
you're an agnostic theist.
But also too, and it's the craziest thing, because I mean, you could just talk to Him. That's it. That's all you got to do is just talk to Him. Like you ain't got to be like all the religions are like, hey, you have to do this thing to this thing. Just fucking talk to Him. Like if I sit here and I talk to you, all right, and whether any one of these religions are the exact one, this is exactly how it is. How do I then die? Go to whatever alternate places after this one, after talking to Him and all that shit, and you'd be like, oh, I don't know you. I believe we have a better relationship because there's nothing in between. There's no in between. There's no fucking, I got to think about this before I talk to Him, or I got to do this, or I've let Him down and all that shit. I just have a relationship. So
the funny thing that popped in my head was that like with the amount of like you have thousands of religions and like denominations of each of those religions and all this other stuff, and you get up there and He's like, sorry, you picked the wrong one. There was 6,500 choices. How was I supposed to get the right answer?
Right, Jesus Christ.
Even the people that are like your devout followers, like they disagree with each other. Like, what's the deal here? Like,
bro, everybody did like, and there should never be a book about something as important as like life and death. And it's just like, oh, it's up for interpretation, brother. Yeah. No, you don't leave that up for interpretation. That's the one thing where you're just like, look, it's laid out. All right, everything's cut and dry. That's how it is. Don't tell me, hey, don't believe in the new, go to the old, or don't believe in the old, go to the new, or this, that, third. I don't know the other religions, so I can't talk about their stuff. What did Jewish people do? They eat is that Catholic? Who eats the body and drinks the blood?
I think that's a lot of them, but yeah, Catholic's definitely one of them.
Yeah, all that stuff. I don't even know where I was going now, because I was like, fuck, what was I?
I think we should probably just go to our advice.
We should drop the look. Everybody's like, come on, get off of it. Come on. That's what they're doing. They're listening to it right now at work. They're like, come on, just get off of it. Come on.
You promised us advice.
Mike has never been able to stay on a topic this long in his life. Get off of it, brother. Come on.
These are our topics off camera.
But here's the thing. I love and respect everybody. And I don't give a fuck what your religion is. I still fuck with you. It's just like what was it last episode when I was like, I fuck with gay people.
Yeah, that was I
gotta watch all word things. Yeah,
I was like, maybe we switch up how we say that.
Yeah, somebody's listening to that in a shop with the volume on, and you just gotta like turn around and be like, look, I'm not sure if he's gay or not. All right,
he said a lot of questionable things.
Right, but, he's saying he's not gay, but the way he's like bad, because I rewatched the episode and I was rather tired. The last one, and I'm just like doing the whole shtick where I'm like,
that's when you said you got a bunch of sleep too.
Which one? The last
one? Yeah.
No, that's the Oliver was sick one. He's still sick.
Oh,
his belly's a lot better now, so he's doing well now, and hopefully goes back to school this week. So, we got through that. Had to go back to the hospital. It was
He's
a whole
not
bunch of
excited
shit.
about the school thing.
No, not at all. But last night he was claiming his stomach hurt. So hopefully this morning everything's good. Because, brother,
Did you get him some kombucha?
nah, no, just staying up with him at night. And the big thing is with children. Look, here I'm gonna give you a life hack to any illness that you have. All right. And this is not saying, hey, fucking don't seek treatment if you got like, you know, cancer or something. Please God, go see a doctor or something. But if you are dealing with like a sickness or something like that, or you're just feeling down, when they say laughter is the best medicine, because also when I'm sick too, like I just do my normal things. I'll still watch funny stuff and, you know, joke around and stuff like that, because if you sit and dwell on something, it makes it infinitely worse.
Yeah.
I found that out from sitting and dwelling. I was like, look, everybody loves doing this shit. All right. And I've been doing it for like 3 days now. Why am I doing this? And as soon as I go back into just trying to be normal, just saying, hey, because every commercial that you see, every fucking time they talk about a sick person, they always have the person like laying in the bed, and I'll feel like shit, and I'll still like be trying to enjoy my day, because then I feel better. I don't want to just sit there and just fucking soak it in, just enhance the sickness.
Just steep in it.
Yes,
Just
stew in the sickness. We would mop 100 UK dudes, British dudes, whatever the fuck you call them.
I've been watching Ted Lasso. I went ahead and watched that. That was a pretty good series.
Was that good? That's the soccer one, right?
Yeah.
That's football. It's football. There's some person in the UK watching now, which, listen, if you are a UK listener, we would beat up everybody but you, because you're the strongest person in the UK because you listen to the show. So share it to a friend, man. Gosh. Maybe I want some of your mom's.
We got some UK listeners.
Rumple biscuit pie.
We either have UK listeners, or else people are using a VPN to listen
yeah,
to
that's what it is, VPN. Bro, VPNs are dope. We just had to go through. I had a big parenting moment last night. All right.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I think I gave a good enough like pause right there. So if we have to cut this out, we could do that. But we had a big parenting moment last night, because I'm laying in bed, tired. All right. Fucking, like I said, when he gets up and his stomach hurts, I'm the one that's up with him all night. Okay. Which once again begs the question, why the fuck do I got to get you a motherfucking gift if I'm staying up? But I'm staying up with him, or I'm in the bed because I'm like, look, I got to get some sleep. I'm about to die. I'm gonna have a heart attack from staying up like 4 days with like 6 hours of sleep. So I'm on my phone and I get a notification that says, you have been banned for one day from Roblox. And I was like, oh man, let me look at this. So then it gives you the whole chat log. I'm not going to say what he said. It was not bad. All right. But I was like, fuck, now I have information. I want to see how his character is.
Mhm.
All right. So I go in there and I'm like, hey, bud, I do it so funny. I'm like, hey, bud, let's play a Roblox game. And he's like, oh, fuck yeah. So he like gets on his phone to do it. And he's like, oh man, I got banned. What? And I'm like, oh, what'd you get banned for? And he says something other than the thing that he said that he got banned for.
Mhm.
And I was like, are you sure you didn't say this? He's like, what? No. And I'm like, brother, at that point, I understand he's 8. Look, so he doesn't understand that if you did something and then someone word for word
says what you did,
they are not guessing. They know what you did. So he's like, what? No, I didn't do that. So we had a big listen, like, and I told him too, like, it's lying to your parents or lying to somebody that you love, because at the end of the day, like I said, I love him unconditionally. That means when he fucks up, there is one motherfucker in this universe through anything that's got your back.
Yeah.
Through anything that has your back, that I'm the last person he should lie to. So we had that big parenting moment last night. So that was I think it was pretty good. It went over well. He was hella embarrassed though, because this is like the first like big time he's done something like that. So it was good to kind of just like, oh yeah, you thought I did. I gave him hell about it. I wasn't mean or anything like that. But you got when a kid fucks up, this is why you don't ever want to be like, I'm a pretty lackadaisical dad. I'm making jokes and stuff like that. I'm pretty fun, but it makes the times when I'm serious more serious. So it's like, okay, we've done something. So I think last night, in the first really big moment that I've had where a child's done something like that, because fucking Alithia, I don't know if it's like they say ugly people make a beautiful baby.
Yeah.
I guess it's like I'm this. So I just made the perfect thing. It's just like, all right, Mike's, a fat grizzly monster who has the attention span of a fucking monkey with ADHD. I'm going to give him this person. So we've never really had to deal with that. That was the first time dealing with it. And I think we knocked it out of the park because I did. Like, I want to write home that what you did was bad.
Yeah.
But I also want to say, hey, like, if shit goes bad, if something happens, there's only one person that has your back through thick and thin. So
I had a very similar moment with my daughter at Chick-fil-A the other day because I went into the play place where she was playing to ask her to come back out and eat some of her food because obviously food's the least important thing at the Chick-fil-A playroom. But when I walked in there was a little girl in there that said, "Stop pushing me down the slide." And I was like, hey, come on out here. And she's like, she was blocking the slide. And I was like, yeah, well, you don't like it when other kids push you down the slide. And I was like, were you pushing her? She's like, no. And I was like, babe, like, you can do that thing and you're not in trouble for that thing. We're going to talk about it. Like, that's going to, like, that is a learning moment. But like, you lie to me. That's the problem. It's like, I have no problem with you fucking up or making mistakes, but like, do not tell me that you didn't do something, especially when I was in here to hear you doing the thing. So like, just tell me the truth and we can talk about it and we can learn the lesson from that. But like, the lying, you can actually get in trouble for that. Like, that's something that it is a character moment. And I want you to be able to trust me with all information. If you murder somebody, like you said, like, you're still the person and I love you. We'll talk about the murder, but like, don't lie to me and say that you didn't, push the kid down the slide.
Right.
Like, that's the part where
essentially that was the conversation I had with Ollie too, is like, look, I understand more than anything, video game culture. We started this for y'all.
Yeah.
Like, you were just little, and they're like, oh, the stuff that they say, well, look, I know, brother. I know.
You're just lucky that
we're all really good. Listen, that's one thing with people who play video games or any games at all. We are really good at making other people feel bad. All right.
Yeah.
Through game actions, through insults, all of that stuff. And I understand, because here's the thing, like, so say, like I told Oliver, like, you don't ever want to bully somebody. Mm-hmm. If you bullied somebody, I would be mad. I see the chat log. I see what's happening. So when someone's calling you a name and you call them a name, like, it's not cool to bully somebody for being fat. All right. If you're getting bullied by a fat guy, guess what the fuck the first thing I'm going to talk about is how motherfucking heavy you are, brother. That's the first thing I'm going to.
Yeah.
So I was like, look, man, like, if like, I don't care about that aspect where someone's like trying to roast you and you roast back. Yeah. I don't give a fuck about that. I give a fuck about the lying part.
Yep.
Now, when it comes to names and shit, if there's just a kid sitting in class and he's fucking not doing anything and you just go up and and you call him fat, I'm gonna be fucking, like, that's when you see angry dad. If you're just outwardly just like bullying some fucking body, I don't give a fuck if you call somebody fat. I'm like, oh, that's fat phobic. Stop being so goddamn fat. Like, you could change me being fat phobic about you. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, quit being a dick and I'll stop.
Imagine all the other things, like the fucking racism and shit like that. Shit that they can't, like, brother, I'd be black. Like, I can't change being black. And then fucking a guy be like, yeah, I know, man. It's like how people talk about fat people too.
No,
like,
no.
Shut the fuck up. Like, yeah. Bro, fat people, oh, God. They want their cake and eat it too. Like,
yeah. Well, and I mean, it goes back to what you're saying though. It's like, if people are hateful to you, no matter what it is, like if they're hateful to you just to be hateful,
get them
without you doing anything. Like, yes, that's a problem. But like, if you're being a hateful person too, and in that hate-filled rage, they decide to make a comment on you being fat, like, no, you're not protected. Like, it's not a protected class. Like, because you can change that. And like, you were being a dick first. So they just answered back and called you out. Like,
all right. So I'm gonna go into what he said.
Yeah.
All right. So he's getting like picked on by somebody and he's like, dude, stop. And the other guy called him a nerd. Mm-hmm. And he was like doing something where he was like trolling Oliver on the game. And he was like, nerd. And he's like, well, at least I'm not a fat man playing this game. Like he meant like a grown adult. Yeah. He didn't know how to word it real well. Yeah. But I was like, brother, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a really good one. Like, yeah, because then they immediately, oh, I'm not an adult. Like, I'm not, like, they have to get into that. Once somebody starts defending themselves too, like if someone is bullying you, listen, and you give them a real good insult back and they start like once somebody starts defending themselves, we're like, well, it's a medical condition. Like when I have the little herpes bump and people are like, oh, Mike got to stop sucking dick. If I'm like, well, I've never sucked. Once you start defending yourselves, you've lost.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's a pretty good one. But it would have been a way different thing if he's just fucking out there being a dickhead.
Well, and if you cut to the quick of their argument, so like if he were to answer back with like, "Oh, sorry, I'm smart," like, and technically it doesn't win very often, but like if you can start making fun of yourself before they,
not in the situation of being a bully. That making fun of yourself's really good when you fuck up. Like if you do something that makes you look bad, that's where the situation asks for that. But in the face of somebody who is just outwardly a dickhead, you have to defend yourself in those moments because that kind of gives them the pass to keep doing it. Because I don't know, hateful people are hateful people.
Yeah,
I'm like, if somebody at school is like talking shit about you, the first thing I've told Alithia and Oliver is that person probably doesn't have a good home life.
Yeah,
like they go home and outside they have good mom and dad love them, but obviously once they get back to the house, mom and dad don't give a fuck. They care about everything else except for that kid, and they're lashing out in school and stuff like that. So that's why you don't pay them no mind. But if they touch you, you break their fucking nose. Yeah. You grab a textbook and you see the real hard spine of it, you just crack them right across the mouth with that, and not only will they not bully you, the other kids who witness that, who are thinking, maybe I'd like to dabble in a little bit of bullying. Maybe that'll tickle my fancy. Nope, they're immediately out of the game right now. Yeah, they're like, well, that's not the first person I'm bullying. And honestly, you might dissuade them from ever becoming a bully. Yeah. Once somebody gets hit in the mouth with the spine of a textbook, it is a great dissuasion from bullying people. But we're going to get into some advice.
Yeah, we're only an hour in so far.
Are we an hour in? Oh, man.
Did I reset that? I didn't reset that.
Oh, you didn't say that? So there's going to be like a good chunk where we don't have Dylan's beautiful face in his camera. Oh, if you're going to be at the NASCAR All-Star race, though, and I don't know how the fuck I would meet somebody. I don't know what the fuck they want me to do.
Well, there's just going to be crowds around.
Right?
Like, everybody's going
to... I hate to show up, and I walk into a room, and there's a bunch of oily guys sitting on a couch, and be like, it's your time to shine. You wanted this, didn't you?
I'll film you.
Be like, oh, fuck!
They don't want to see me on camera, but I'll film it.
How much? Because Diddy was giving out $15 million.
They'll give you a free ride around the track.
No free ride around the tracks. I want to say this joke, but I'm scared. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Speedway will see it and then they're like, fuck you. But I'm not a huge NASCAR fan.
I think it comes down to, like, we mentioned this in previous episodes. Going to an event is different, like, except for baseball.
Right, yeah. Being there and, like, an experience and stuff like that. And once they said, like, VIPs and meeting people, that's dope because, once again, I'm not a huge fan of NASCAR. Would I like to meet like a fucking, and I know older drivers, all right, but like a Jeff Gordon or something, like, fuck yeah, Dale Earnhardt Jr., even to this day, would like to meet him. Like, that's just that's people who are the best in their fields. That's just a dope thing anyways.
Well, I went to Martinsville, and like I tried watching racing when I was younger because like I grew up in the sticks of New York where everybody was like a race fan, and I just couldn't watch it on TV. But then as I got to be an adult and moved down here, like, I went to a Martinsville race, and
the race cars go by and you can't breathe, and you're like, oh.
Well, like, I enjoyed, like, the tailgating and all that stuff. Like, once I got into it, like, there was just some drunk assholes, so it made the experience less fun.
Oh, no, I love drunk people increase the ambience for me. Like Bowman Gray, I like Bowman Gray.
Depends on, like, whether they're being douchebags or they're just being, like, drunk assholes. Like, I don't mind drunk assholes, but it's when they start like agitating people around them that I...
Oh yeah, because everybody likes different. There's so many race car drivers too. Yeah. So you can't divide stands. You can't be like, oh, this is the home stand. Nope. There could be 5 different people around you that like 5 different people. Yeah. And fucking one's wrecking the other. And
like if there's just like a couple people that are just shit, like those shit bully people, and they start...
But I'm a fan of mixed martial arts too, so if they start fighting, I really enjoy it then.
Yeah, there was no fights.
I really enjoy it. Jose Aldo got robbed last night. It was the only thing I really gave a fuck about the card anyways. You don't know anything about UFC, so we're not going to get into that, all right? But, and then he retired, which I wanted him to retire 3 fights ago, so him doing it now, that should have been like when when he fucking sets his gloves down, that should have been, and it should have been a win. He won the first 2 rounds. He did get beat up a little bit in the 3rd round. He was very tired. All right, he's an old man. I think he's 38, something like that.
That's like ancient.
I mean, and for fighting, it is. providing the decline happens at 34. And it's like statistically it happens at 34, which makes Alexander Volkanovski's winning of the featherweight. Look, we see that's what I'm saying, brother. Like, he's just like, these are words and these are people.
I watched it years ago.
Advice for proposing to a girl that's a way better person than me. Dear Mike and Dylan, that's us. Love it. Specifically Mike, because he's a shit show like me. I am a shit show. We running out of time over here for me to propose to a girl that's straight up out of my league. I've seen both of y'all on video screen and how did you feel? Okay, well, fucking look, I fucked all this up. I've seen both of y'all on video screen and how did you fellers convince someone to actually marry you? Sincerely yours. Honestly, who cares? Just please tell us about y'all's proposal stories. We all want to know. All right, so this is not asking for advice. I think he just for a story.
I think he just called us ugly.
Right. He's like, how the fuck did y'all land somebody? Anybody on earth. So I'm going to tell you how I've kind of talked about mine and Amy's early relationship. But I started working at a Hardee's in Thomasville, North Carolina, and Amy was the general manager there. And while she was doing the interview, I told her my birthday, and she like sets her hands down. She's like, I have the same exact birthday. So I was like,
we're soulmates.
Yeah, and she's pretty. So like, I did have a car at this time, but it was fucked up. I told you the battery was fucked up and I didn't know what to do. So my stepmom came and picked me up. It's like stepmom 7 times removed. I don't know how to define any of these relationships. But I was like, I'm gonna sleep with that lady in there. I'm gonna do it.
You told her?
Yeah. No, I told my stepmom.
That's what I was saying. You told the stepmom.
Yeah. So I started working there, and come to find out, she was with a woman. So they had just broke up. Now, everybody that worked at that Hardee's had a big crush on Amy. And there was one guy who was like, I got to figure out, like, does she like dudes also? Because she was in a 9-year relationship. That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time. That's enough time where you're like, I don't know. That's a long time with a woman. Normally you kind of know with some of them because they'll be like, yeah, I was, with this girl for 6 months. Before then, I dated a douchebag for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And that's just, I'm not going to get into that again. God. We have too many dark episodes already. But so it was this guy, Corey. He was a cook. He's a big fat black guy. And he had like pirate earring.
Nice.
Right, yeah. And he was like, I just want to know if she likes guys also. And I was like, everybody there. There was one guy there too. I can't remember his name, but he looked like a beaver. And me and this guy almost got into a physical altercation one time. But he looked like a beaver. And he was just like, he was head over heels. For like, when he went home at night, that was the woman he was dreaming about.
Those work crushes.
Right. Yeah, he was absolutely infatuated with her. So I was like, y'all want me to go ask her? And they was like, oh, you'll do that? I was like, yeah, I'm not afraid to talk to women, bud. Like, I'm not you bitches. Like, I'll go do it. So I just walked up to her, and she was putting money in the safe. And I just was like, hey, so is it only women, or is there like a gray area? Because obviously you're not like, are you into guys too?
Well, you gotta go out on a date,
right? Well, there's some here that there's some people here who would like to potentially court you, and we were just wondering, is it all only women, or would you fancy a male? I'm not going to word it like that. That's lame. Well, which the guys being like, not wanting to talk to a girl is lame. I wish I could remember the guy's name.
So then you just asked her to marry you? Because
no.
Marriage.
So that happens where I worded it like that. She thought it was like really funny. But she didn't answer me. And then I was fucking cleaning the bathroom or something like that. And there was like one of those like crazy old people that had they had set so many pamphlets in there. And I was just like, man, all the time you could have spent worshiping Jesus, and you're sitting here fucking setting it. Because they set them up in like these weird card structure ways. Yeah. And I was just like, bro, like I just made a joke. I was like, the time that it took you to set up this, you could have been worshiping God. Which you see it too. There's a bunch of people up at the courthouse that'll be like, the burn gays and shit like that. And I just like to joke around and be like, brother, up here on a Friday at 3:00 in the afternoon, I don't know about you, but you should be out fucking working right now like a man. I know God would not appreciate a man taking fucking time off to stand near a courthouse. How about put in some motherfucking work? I just like fucking with people, all right? So I did that, and she laughed again. So I was just like, hey, you want to go out this weekend? We were going to go to Johnny and June's, which was a bar. So we're going there, and it's me, and then my friend I'm not going to name their names, but we had 2 friends along with Amy. And what's so funny about that night too is I was drinking E&J in the backseat, and I told you I'm not a big drinker, but also I don't want to be like, if someone hands me alcohol, and you're with,
sorry, I don't drink.
Right. Well, I'm not a drinker, but I'd like to see you get drunk. Like that's creepy also too. So I was like, I'll play along. So I'm drinking. it doesn't take a lot to get me buzzed. And we stop at this gas station, and I got to pee so fucking bad. And I go up, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have a bathroom." That's the one thing I hate. Like, where do you use the bathroom then, bud? Huh? Riddle me that. You just go piss out in the woods? Yeah. Like, I hate places that are like, nah, we ain't got a bathroom. What the fuck do you use? I understand you don't want people doing heroin in the bathroom, right? But I legitimately got to pee.
Well, also, they don't want people, making a mess out of everything, and every person that's not going to purchase anything from their establishment. And
right. I hate people that ruin shit for other people. Like, oh, excuse me, sir, may I go into your bathroom to shit on the walls? Like, yes. Why? Just be a person. Like, I am going
to clean up after yourself.
Right. I am going to put, I'm gonna smear doo-doo all over the handles of everything in the bathroom for no fucking reason, just to do it. People are weird. But so they didn't have a bathroom, and I had to pee real bad. So I went to the side of the building to pee, and I started peeing. And as I do, a cop pulls in the fucking parking lot. So I had to go ahead and stuff it back in real quick. Had a big old pee spot on my pants, and somehow, to this day, she's still married to me.
So that's how you got married?
Yep, that's exactly how I got married. We got married right there in the parking lot by the cop.
Yeah.
With the big old pee spot.
Nice.
What
great wedding photos. Yeah, mine was a little different. I think me and Jess had been dating for right at like 9 months or maybe a year, and I had decided that I was gonna marry her, but since Jess came with I think my other daughter's like 6 years old when I finally got into her life, I had to ask her for permission to marry Jess before and so I asked her thinking that like I could just go. We had went to Costco, and Jess had made mention of like a specific ring. And so I was like, oh, I'll just go pick up that ring, and, we'll be off to the races. Well, we go in, and Jess has like the tiniest little fingers. So I was like, do you have this in like a 5? Because I had gotten her to try on a ring to, figure out what the size was. And I was like, do you have this in a 5? They're like, we only sell 7s. And I was like, could I order a 5? And they're like, we only sell 7s. And I was like, even online, like I can't get a different size ring. They're like 7s. And I was like, all right. So I ended up having, since I had told my other daughter, I had told her and I had asked her, and she was super excited about it. I had to come up with something. So then I went to TJ Maxx and got like costume jewelry, which they only sell 7s. so like it was funny though, because that night she was doing her first like solo show as an artist. And so my plan was I had my daughter say to Jess like, hey, do you want to marry Dylan? And so in that time while they were talking, I was going to get down on my knee and like propose to her. And so I did it. And the funniest thing was when my daughter said that to her, she's like, I don't really want to say her name, but like, so she's like, don't ask me that. And at that time I was already on my knee. So like my wife had gotten upset with our daughter. Like it was out of line for her to do it. And then it all worked out. But it was one of those things where I couldn't take it back as soon as I decided that I was going to ask her to marry her, because you can't trust a 7-year-old to keep that secret. So like I was like, I have to do it tonight. And so, yeah, she cried and said, yeah. And I didn't get any of the cool video or photos of it, but it was...
I do want to elaborate to people, though. I didn't tell a proposal story because me and Amy met, and within a month and a half, she was pregnant and we were getting married. Yeah. Like, because we came from that time, like, we were young and dumb, too. So I was fucking 19 at the time. And she had gotten pregnant. And this was during the time where I was like, well, fucking gotta get married. Yeah. And then, so when I say that, bro, the first 3 years of our marriage was just an absolute struggle. But that's why I tell people, too, it's not about finding a soulmate. There's no such thing as like you're destined to be with this person. There's no fucking such thing as that. It's two people who are willing to put in the work to make a relationship, to make a family, to make two people fucking connect together. It takes a lot of work, and it always takes work. Yeah. And I like eventually you'll find a spot where you're just like, where you're fucking a team or something, a partnership. And it's this, it was destiny. And it was like from the first moment I saw them, every single relationship, that you see where it's two fucking old people sitting in a diner, they have had arguments. They have had times where they didn't think this relationship was going to work. Some old people are different though, because that was like back in the day where it was like, well, I'll just beat her until she's ready to fucking stay married forever.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing is like I'd had so many relationships that were between 2 and 5 years, like just a whole bunch of them through my 20s. And I think it was me finally deciding like I don't need somebody. And that's when I met Jess, was like when we were in that stage and she was just coming out of a marriage. And so we're like, nah, we're not getting married. We're not doing any of this stuff. And then, so a lot of that pressure of like, oh, this is the steps you're supposed to follow was gone. And so then it allowed us to just be us. Like I was fully me. I didn't like try to sugarcoat things and like present as being this like magical guy. I was just like, this is me. You get it. You don't like it, go ahead and leave. But like, we're not getting married. We're not doing any of this stuff. But like, it was actually me becoming okay with who I was and her becoming okay with who she was. We weren't putting on a facade.
Right.
And I think that's the decision is like when you're just like, take me or leave me. And with you guys, like it's probably hard until you got to that point where you guys were like, this is it. Like we're together. And then once you both decide that, then things kind of get better. And you still fight. You still have disagreements. You still, it's
all
never
the
easy.
time. Yes,
it's never
on
easy.
my ass.
But like it's one of those things where you like she's your person, you're hers, and as long as you guys keep that like we're a team, we're gonna rock together, even if I don't like you for 6 months, like I still love you and we'll make it through. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. It's just like, yep, that's how it is, brother.
I don't know.
One day when I'm rich and I'm 50 years old and then I start dating 18-year-old girls, I think that's so nasty, bro.
I don't see the appeal.
It's like, how does a day transition a child into an adult?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. I don't like it. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
Ask Leonardo DiCaprio, allegedly.
Well, I love people too who like defend the age of consent. All right.
Yeah.
Who are just like 16 is the age of consent. So what they're doing is not illegal. Because I know not to fuck with them because they're probably pedophiles. All right. If you listen, just don't defend the age of consent. Like that's all you got to not do. It's really, really simple. Anytime you start defending the age of consent, there's no argument you could present to me. All right, that does not make you sound like a pedophile.
Wouldn't it be one thing if it was like one-offs, but like when you're hunting that ground, like all the people that you're looking for are in that range.
Yeah,
like,
there's a range
you're
now, brother.
You're a pedophile. Like you are definitely a predator.
Yes. It was like a meme or something where it was like the guy was 25, she was 20, and they had a 4-year-old. And everybody's like, 16 is the age of consent. I was like, she did not get pregnant and have the baby in the fucking while she was 16, brother. That's not how life works. No. That's not how life works. She was 15 when she got pregnant. Yeah. And he would have been, what, 2021?
20. Yeah.
Like, that's a fucking problem. Yeah. That's a problem. Listen, Ruger, fucking High Point, a lot of gun companies out there. They have found the cure. They have found the cure for that. Listen, I used to be the guy. I'm not gonna lie. I used to be the guy that was like, well, we got to abolish the death penalty because you can't tell if somebody you don't want to execute an innocent person, and at the end of the day, you don't want to. Okay, but also you got to get rid of fucking problems, and it's so crazy how we fucking execute people who in the heat of the moment murdered somebody. Like a lot of people who fucking like a serial killer, that's not in the heat of the moment. Like that was a planned thing. A pedophile, that's a planned thing. But people like if you fucking kill somebody, like you're fucking sitting there arguing, they did something like it's an argument. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's up for debate.
Well, and why is somebody going to jail for, half their life for drugs?
That's the wildest one. And then the government's just like, well,
somebody hurts a kid and they're like, oh, you 2 years later, you're back out on the street. Like,
you get 2 years probation for fucking, and that's so wild too, man. And I actually showed Dylan this. We had they're not really in my family. It's just a person we know. And they like to be like, oh, we're family. We're from the South. Okay. Everybody's family. All right. And, he got caught by a task force trying to talk to an underage girl.
Yeah, and they don't just like willy-nilly throw those out there.
It's not like he opened the conversation with, "Oh, hey, what are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm 15." And it was like, "Oh, we can still talk." That's not what happened.
No.
But his family talks about it like that. I'm like, bro, if my fucking brother came out to be a pedophile, Like, he would no longer be around my kids.
Yeah, and he's not your brother
At all. Yeah, he's not around my fucking brother.
Gone.
That's the also too with the like when you talk about the unconditional love that you have for a child, people will always be like, well, what if your son turned out to be a pedophile? I'd be like, well, what the fuck did I do wrong as a parent that fucking didn't catch, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
help him not become that.
Like, what if he went and shot 19? I'd be like, well, I'd sit there and think about my failures as a parent. Like, obviously, when your kid does something terrible, like when a kid does something terrible,
it's not fully your responsibility.
Right. It's not fully, but there are things absolutely that should have been caught in childhood that could have prevented all that shit. But nobody wants to talk about that, brother.
No.
They only want to talk about the love. Like I said, with his whole lying thing, I was like, the last person you lie to is dad, because that's the person through thick and thin. All right.
And I'll help you
through it. Dad, we were fucking playing with a gun and accidentally shot my friend and killed him. The cops don't care about accidentally, brother. Like, you can't lie. Like, you can lie to the court of law if they can get evidence. I mean, you could be completely innocent, like we said, and you could get convicted. All right, Dad's here. Like, Dad will help you.
Tell me the truth.
Like, no, I'll just help him hide everything. All right, I'll be like, all right, we'll brush it off. And then if it was like 100% an accident, I'd be one of those dads that's just like, fucking, I did it because I'm crazy. I didn't want my son hanging out with nobody but me. I ain't got no friends. That's what I do, man. Especially accident. That's the most tragic shit.
Do not use this in the court of law. And
I hate when it's the funniest shit too, because so there's been a couple instances of people that I know where it's two friends playing with a gun and one accidentally shoots the other one.
Yeah, no, I had
everybody's had it. Everybody has a friend that has done that. Or know somebody that did that. Yeah. And that's the most unfortunate thing, because it's two guys just fucking off. And normally it's two underage kids who shouldn't be around a fucking gun, who are drinking alcohol, who shouldn't be drinking alcohol. And this is all literally the fault and the wrongdoing of parents, the ineptitude of parents not being responsible that has led to this moment. And then one kid shoots the other one by accident and is now for life. Everybody in the community is like, oh, he murdered somebody. People can't grasp kids fucking up.
They were playing.
They can't grasp kids fucking up. But then also too, you're going to prison for a long time, which does not make fucking sense. We had one where I guess they were like right at 18 too. And I'm just like, man, the thought of that, like, you just fucked up your life. You're going to prison for a long time because, like I said, that one day that you go from kid to man, which is not fucking real.
Well, it's not even 18 anymore. Like, you could be 14, 15, and all of a sudden they decide to try you as an adult. So,
well, some of them kids be crazy, brother.
Yeah.
Listen, and I'm sorry you've lived an unfortunate life. Like, some of these kids, they went through fucking childhoods that we couldn't imagine going through, and then they do something incredibly wrong, and it's like, listen, I feel for you, but you got to lock them far away from the general public. All right, we're gonna get into the next one. Probably just going to do the two short ones since we have enjoyed the banter. This is a banter episode.
It's a long banter
All
episode.
right. The title says, Am I the Asshole? Dear Mike and Dylan, am I the asshole for thinking this pod is absolutely trash? Did we get a bad review? I thought we had a bad review the other day, but it turned out somebody was fucking around and then was like, oh, I love the podcast. Just kidding. Oh, fuck. I was happy, man. I was about to say, oh, we did it finally.
Got roasted.
Somebody was like, what the fuck did I just listen to? I wasted an hour of my life to find out that the guy rambling, there's a normal guy there that could stop him. Doesn't do it.
Never.
Just sits there. And honestly, as the podcast is going on, he's fucking rubbing off on him. Look, I can't word things right.
No, you can't.
I cannot.
I give him looks. He just doesn't pick up on them. He's like, no, this is a good one. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah. Bro, dude, during the work one, and Dylan's just like, bro, it's like, wrap it up. I got a point I'm going to.
I need to have a button that just plays the rap music, like not rap, but like at the awards ceremonies where they just like play the music just the music that starts slowly coming in to make it so that the people can't talk because the music's going to overtake their talking. So they wrap up their, like, it's the Dave Chappelle episode of like when he's got the little music that plays so that like, wrap it up. You don't remember that one?
No. What season is that?
It's the first one.
I think the first one.
Yeah. Like where it's like the music that they play at award ceremonies to get people to finish up their speeches to keep the show rolling on. And so they have music that they play to just tell people to like wrap it up. I think he's like having sex, like Dave Chappelle's having sex, and then he's like plays the music.
Right, yeah.
She's like, all right, come on, wrap it up. We're done. Like,
brother, like when you first, I was like, what? They're at a music show?
No, like an award ceremony. And The rap music.
Brother, what is your
Not R-A-P-W-R-A-P.
what is your favorite episode? Oh, we got to get into
The
story.
first one. The first one is the greatest episode of all time.
What happens in the first one?
Black white supremacist.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
Just so
We actually don't like that episode because progressiveness, but
no, I love that episode.
it's the greatest episode.
It's the most fun because like he came out with such like a nobody was expecting anything. Like I've been watching Dave Chappelle and Half Baked and his stand-ups.
I told
and
you
all
I
this
lived in a
stuff,
tent with the first season.
It's so great,
and I
all
can't, brother. It feels like a fever dream. Like I know every bit episode, but you're like in the first episode. I'm like, brother, I have no idea what happened in the first episode. Drugs are a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, like if you like, I can name what happens in every single fucking episode.
Yeah.
That's why when you're like the fucking one, I'm just like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah, he came out like swinging.
Oh.
I think it's the first episode. I'm pretty sure it is.
I don't feel like Black White Supremacist is the first episode. It's in the first season. I know that.
I know it's in the first season, but I could swear that was the first episode that they dropped.
I can't
We'll have to watch it.
Brother, I lived in a tent. That's all we could watch for fucking like 2 months was the Chappelle show. And I'm just like, I don't know. Well, also too, so on the DVDs, all you get, like you don't have transitional episodes.
Yeah.
So what it does is it just goes to like when it's transitioning through bits, it's just the black guys playing the Chappelle show. And then they did a longer version of that into the next episode. So technically, this was back like, you know how DVDs had like the menu where you can like play, pause, start. It didn't have that. It just played.
Mine had, or no. Yeah, no, it didn't play as like one continuous thing. I think it was like a couple discs and, I don't think you could pick episode. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, it just like cycled through. So when you're like first episode, I'm like, brother, I can't tell you what happens in what. Like I couldn't differentiate for the longest time when it was going to a new episode until Dave walked out on stage.
Yeah.
But what they did was they did like a longer version.
Yeah.
And then Dave would walk on the screen like in between the black guys and say something. If he wasn't doing that in the like transitions between the episodes, it'd just be those guys. And that's how my dumbass doesn't pick up on shit.
Let's get ready to start the show.
How do I know when it's going to another episode unless Dave is saying, well, the Chappelle show, I don't like, how he started it off. I was like, how can I fucking tell the difference between the separation of these episodes?
I'm so glad he came back because like after that stopped, I was like, oh man.
Like I said, he stopped cancel culture. Like cancel culture was like, we're gonna get rid of Dave Chappelle. And Dave Chappelle was like, no, you're not. Bitch.
I think he overcame because like that's one thing is like there's still people out there that do stupid shit that get told that they're not going to be able to do, like, not that anybody legitimately gets canceled, but like he did such a great job of not allowing anybody to
not bending to somebody's just if you
no apologies, no nothing, just okay. Oh, you guys are mad about that? Oh, here's this other joke that I came up with.
I just don't understand why people can't just be like, oh man, I don't like this, I just won't watch it.
Turn it off.
Right, I just won't watch it. Wow, that's great. There's a fucking card channel that I don't watch. Like YouTube will like recommend you to another channel, so like the autoplay will go into it. I'm not subscribed to or anything like that, but he purposely like mispronounces some of the names of cards and stuff like that. He does that to like generate comments, and I find that to be like an annoying thing. All right, look, if you do it, I understand. Collect your bag how you want to. All right, but do you think I'm sitting here like trying to fucking be like, he shouldn't be allowed on YouTube? No, I just block them. That's it. Like people just don't watch it.
Do not show this to me anymore.
And then for the longest time, I was like, no, we will destroy your lives. You will not be allowed on anything else. Like if you're out sexually assaulting people, bro, yeah, you don't deserve a place in society.
Well, but the thing is, though, is like who is anybody?
Jokes?
But who is anybody else? Like everybody should turn that person off. Like they should just be canceled simply by being like, oh yeah, no, that guy's a shitbag. Not watching it. It shouldn't have to be like this collective, like we need to dox him and find out where, like,
right. That's right. Like if someone's just like generally not funny and saying like bad shit to say bad shit, then people don't fuck with him. Like his shittiness, his non-funniness is what cancels him.
Yeah.
Fucking, and that's what stupid too is. It's like the, what do they call it? The Streisand effect, where there'll be something so innocuous. And this is what, I mean, just, it's so dumb when you're like, I don't like this. I don't like this to the point where I want everybody to know I don't like this and that this is not okay. And then they take that one innocuous thing that nobody knows about and they blow it up into this big thing that now everybody fucking knows what it is. And everybody like, that's what people don't understand, man. Like But it's what generates like fucking social media.
Yeah.
It's what keeps social media going. See, if someone will see a post that they don't agree with or don't like, and they'll go and fucking be like, they'll fucking give their feedback. They make something that is innocuous otherwise, that's not a big problem, into a big problem, and then it becomes some big thing. But we got to fucking finish this, all right? How deep are we in?
28 plus 18.
So that's 56 plus 18, that's 74.
An hour and 15 minutes so far.
All right. It's 74 though. I got that real quick.
Well, people are very interested in us not keeping it short, so.
Oh, yeah, no. You guys are here until we get done, all right? You're fucking here until we get done. Because we see the numbers too. A lot of y'all watch to the end. And I'm just like, fuck, that was like an hour and 30 minutes. And that it blows my mind too, because I'm like, I could never sit there. Dylan knows I watch something that's 10 minutes on like 2.2 times speed.
And then he only watches like part of it until he's bored.
Right.
He's
Once
like,
I have the information, I'm just like, I am done with this. I'll sit down and watch it like a documentary.
So you're trying to talk them out of listening to our podcast? Or?
No, just watch it on 2 times speed. Like, that's it. I'm saying I don't. There are people who like that style of stuff.
I listen to podcasts, so like I have listened to many of them. I do listen to them sped up, just because I like to get the information quicker rather than, and I can understand it all. Like,
I feel like once you become so concise though with your podcast, like if we started intro into Am I the Assholes, what's the difference between that and a YouTube? I feel like the banter is what makes it a podcast. Yeah. Like it's two people giving their thoughts on life. I've just found out what a real podcast is, by the way, guys. So, and like what podcasting is all about, all within the time that, me and Dylan have done a podcast before this. I was just like, it's like two people, it's like an interview style thing, but it's like people just shooting the shit. And then the listeners listen to it and fucking, they feel like they're part of this, which I talk to them like they're like fucking right here.
I feel like people think of this as like listen to their two friends talk rather than, trying to gain any information or like hear a murder story. They're just like, yeah, my buddy Mike and Dylan, they're out there talking and I just listen to their conversation.
So I don't know why the randomest shit makes me think of stuff, okay? All right. But I went to scratch my back on here. Dylan had an idea to do, what is that camera called that spins around?
The marble orbit.
Yeah, so he wanted to do like an orbit that would go around us and give like that view as it goes around. And I'm like, Dylan, I don't know if Dylan knows this, but when I did this with my back, I could feel my whole ass cracks out. And I was like, so it would go around and people would get that shot. Like, I don't know how often we would show that because nobody wants to watch a podcast where it's completely that. So it would just be kind of like clipped in.
Yeah.
And just like every 25 minutes, we just give them a shot of butt crack. At one point, because we post this on all the podcasting places and on YouTube. YouTube's like, listen, guys, this is almost porn. Yeah. His whole ass is out. Like, it's like, how is that butt crack? We got to finish this person's thing. All right, here we go. Mike, I've watched all the pods and have followed you for years now. Just wanted to let you know that you are doing great. Excited to learn about y'all hoodlums growing up. Mike, Dylan, and Carson hate drama. Is their name Carson?
Come on down. Come on.
Okay, yeah. Just come on down, brother. Come hate some drama. We do need to get a guest. Maybe when we go to the All-Star race.
Yeah, we got to figure out the third person situation, but I'm down for it.
I don't know how we would ever do that. I mean, we obviously bring them in to give advice. Like, I'm not going to be the person that sits down and talks about some kind of confound thing with some, I'm not Joe Rogan. Well, I'm not going to be able to sit down with a fucking Scientologist and be like, learn about what the fuck they know about. Your thing's
valid.
Right. No. Yeah, I can't fucking do that. And I'm not professional enough to keep it professional, essentially. Where Joe can sit there and listen. Obviously, I have a point that I have to make.
We could do, I could sit down and interview them, and then you could, do the Andy Kaufman thing and just show up as Tony and be like, you sons of bitches ain't worth shit.
Ain't worth a motherfucking thing.
Since Dale Sr.'s been gone, ain't nobody raced.
Right. Oh, man. So that, I would like to meet Dale Earnhardt because his dad has a statue in Kannapolis, so right up the road. I've not seen the statue yet, by the way. My wife used to live in Kannapolis, and I've been to Kannapolis many a times. And every time I'm like, fuck, I need to go see the statue. Dale Earnhardt, for any kid that grew up, especially in the South, he was as close as you can get to deity level without fearing that your God will smite you for liking him that much. He was that dude. And when he died, I swear to God, do you remember that? I know where I was.
I don't remember, not
when
I
heard about his death, just like 9/11. That's how big it was, especially in North Carolina.
Well, see, that's the thing is, I think and I'm not trying to be, say that it's only white people that watch it, but like where I grew up in New York, it was only white people, and every single person. The craziest thing was some of those people.
I'm just gonna racistly assume. Sometimes it's okay to be racist. All right, I'm just gonna racistly assume the black audience for NASCAR is not a big thing.
But the craziest thing was we had people up there that sounded like they were from the South, even though they'd never really spent any, like, they listened to country music enough that they just talk like this. And I'm like, what is your deal? Like, you literally have lived up in Western New York for your whole entire life, and you sound like you're from Georgia. Like, no, that's not how that works. But, yeah, like, so everybody up there had Dale Earnhardt stuff and, NASCAR. They had bumpers, they had tires. Like,
right. He was very loved.
Yeah.
He was very loved. But yeah, you didn't have to like skimp around the whole. Listen, I grew up in the hood. Like I grew up in High Point, North Carolina, and it's a good mix of white people and black people. Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times, when your parents do drugs and you're like going from place to place, they're not the best places. So you're in like the poorer parts of town, and unfortunately, black people are in those parts too. Not like unfortunately, you have to be around black people.
Canceled.
Okay. Yeah. That I had to elaborate on that one, but. That's what I'm saying is that, black people are...
Unfortunately for black
people, y'all are also in the poor parts. That's what I'm saying. Jeez. I was like, I got to get out of this. I forgot we could edit. The magic of editing. But unfortunately for black people, they're in the poor parts too. So growing up with them, not a singular encounter of just like, oh, I fucking love NASCAR. So I'm just going to say anecdotally, I know a lot of black people. So
when I worked at
not a single, like it's just not even one. Like if I had one, then I could be like, okay, maybe I can like deduce a grand. No, there are obviously black NASCAR fans.
When I worked at the mattress ticking factory out in Stokesdale, there were like honestly the most country and redneck style people were like some black guys from there.
That's like
and
Xavier.
They had like
Xavier Leggett, man. Have you the Panther? They drafted him last year, and I mean, like, he talked like this, like he eat raccoon and stuff like that. Like he's very very country,
yeah.
Right? But I'm saying what I'm saying though. Maybe you just cut
it's
all
not
that
a
out.
lot. It's not a lot.
It's not a big. There's not a big ratio going on right here. Like I could say from what do they call it? Standard deviation. Right,
using big terms there.
Right, yeah. I could extrapolate that from knowing a good amount of black people, and not a singular one brought up a singular NASCAR driver. Where like when I lived in Denton, and it's all like they would just be like, Jimmy Johnson is the best, and I'm like, brother, I don't know who Jimmy Johnson is. I know who Jeff Gordon is because my stepdad always accuses him of being gay. Says he's a gay man, so I don't know. Apparently, he's great at driving a NASCAR though, but he's gay. He's like gay NASCAR.
You gotta
driver.
hate on the goats,
bro. But so many people in my family would just be like, "Well, Jeff Gordon's gay." I don't know where they got that from, but they fucking ran. Especially back in the day, man. They just made up shit about you, and just that's what you believe forever.
Well, and say gay as like it's like a bad thing.
Oh
like,
no,
I mean,
they thought Jeff Gordon went home to his husband. Like he.
Well, I know, but like. Okay, if he does.
Did his car have a rainbow on it?
No.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I've told this that my stepdad, his father, was in the Ku Klux Klan, and that when we moved down there was a smattering of them guys down there. So yeah, they didn't like black people. They didn't like gay people. So
yeah,
that was a big thing.
And
what's good though,
and you turned out all right.
Yeah, what's good though is that I did grow up around black people. That's the good thing, because
honestly,
the whole time they're talking shit about black people. Like there was this one instance where he told me, he was like, black people smoke crack. I was like, motherfucker, you smoke crack? Like, what are you talking? I've hung out with Corey Hahn 1,000 times. He has never busted out a crack pipe. Not a singular time.
You do it before dinner.
Right. I'm trying to eat. And you're like, I got to go spend money on drugs. Fuck you mean? So, I mean, that was a really good counterbalance to that. I do think if, I grew up in like Denton with just them, and then all you hear is stories and you can't fucking formulate no opinions of your own.
Yeah, you don't actually.
This would be a way different podcast. All right. This would be a way different podcast.
But I like the story that you told me about the grandmother. Can you just go a little bit into that? Like, because you were talking about this exact same scenario of like, he was talking shit about black people and all this other stuff, but you'd go over to your friend's house and like he had a grandmother that you had mentioned a word that you shouldn't say. Like your friends let you say it, but
yeah. So listen, Look, why we got to like put people on the spot?
Well, I just think it's a very good, like, this is Mike Lore that I think determined how you came out. Instead of being that way, you came out the other side.
No, man, this is Paula Dean. Like, we got to get out with this. Is all getting cut out.
Okay.
But yeah, people don't fuck with that. Yeah, we got to cut that out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the Paula Dean stuff. You know what I'm saying? She's like, yeah, I don't know. Didn't she?
Well,
just...
you were a child. Like,
Yeah, I was a little kid.
Like, I mean, and you learned the lesson. And like, my point is this person that actually
and
like,
told me in the sweetest way possible. Like, they weren't mean about it or anything. I was a little kid. Look, got to calm the fuck down. All
and
right?
your friends let you say it, right?
No.
Like your friends, like, because they were saying it, and so you were used to saying it with them.
Like I said, like a majority of. That's what people just don't fucking get, man. Like, because they're not around. They think of like the projects and hood like it's only black people. There's black people. There's white people.
Hispanics,
like, I've never met a fucking black people.
It's poor people.
Whether they were in whatever gang, town, city, whatever the fuck you want to think, they still have white friends, Hispanic friends. Like, everybody like fucking hangs around each other. And a lot of the times, especially with my friends, they were cool. They didn't give a fuck. All right, and then. Like, man, this is the Paula Dean thing. Listen, I'm telling you.
Okay. Like,
with Paula Dean. No, leave it in. Fuck it. It's already in here. But she did tell me in a very sweet way. She was like, that was a word that was started to, mean harm on people, and that they took that word back to use it as good. So when they use it, it's like them taking power back from people who are taking power away from them. When I use it, this is a different story. All right. I was like eight. All right. I wasn't Paula Dean. Telling people in the kitchen, I'd be like, yeah, I said it to them. I didn't do that. All right. I was 8.
Yeah. And like, I mean, you were a kid. Like, so
people are going to see this, me going, I was 8. And then they're going to scroll down and be like, racist podcaster talks about the time when he kept saying the N-word.
No, I just think it's such a powerful story. Because like,
never hard R, by the way, guys. All right.
I had friends that they're like, well, it doesn't mean black people. And I was like, no, it does. Like, you can't use that. Like,
bro. Like, they used to be like, it just means ignorant person.
No, it does not.
That's not what it means, brother. That's not what it means.
And then they're like, white people can be it too. I was like, no, like you're just coming up with your own definition, and like you're justifying.
At this point, you're making stuff up. Yeah.
Yes, and like that's my whole thing is like you can do better, and that's the reason why I wanted you to tell it, because like had that woman taken a different tact with it, you might not have learned the lesson.
Especially like when you're coming from fucking racism. Like they were absolutely, I could say unequivocally, like they could fucking word it to anybody else how they want to. Look, they were racist.
Yes.
Like, they fucking racist. Super. Didn't fucking, they would say the most vile shit, like, that you could hear about a group of people. So take it from that, and that's an environment you're growing up in, all right? And then, I say the word, and then she comes up to me, fucking berating me. Maybe she fucking puts hands on me or something like that. Well, then everything that they said growing up, I just like was validated in my mind.
Yeah.
So that is like a big, like, that's a crazy thing that when, I don't know, and that's what people get so far away from now is that, especially politically. Look, dark episode right now. Look, we're in a dark episode.
It doesn't have to go.
It is about the political scene too. Look, it's two sides that don't get along. So each side, the only way they know what to do is to spit venom to the other side, which then fucking validates what the other side thinks about them. Yes. It just creates a divide, guys. Yeah. And all it takes is a little bit of love or an alien threat. Yeah, I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with an alien threat. But I think this is a good wrap-up point for the last episode of Mike and Dylan Hate.
The last episode?
Yeah, I'm canceled, man. That's what I'm saying. It's Mike, right? And they know my first and last name from earlier, and those people will find you. And what I'm saying about those people, I mean the people that like dox people. They're like, Michael fucked up like 6 times on this.
No, I think this is the genuine, like,
yeah, this is genuine banter. I also, people know that I'm hamming it up. I was 8 years old. Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
No, nobody's gonna. I mean, there are people that do exist that will hear that an 8-year-old say that and it's like, you deserve to die.
I'm just proud of the grandmother or mother that took that moment to teach you. I mean, going back to, Ollie getting bullied on the game and everything like that. Like, it's one of those moments where, like, how you react to that moment changes how that moment impacts that kid.
And you know what's so funny too is that she specifically never probably even thought about that too. She's just a fucking nice lady.
Yep.
She didn't know in that moment that like, hey, his stepdad
is a racist.
His father's like was in the KKK. They're fucking really into that shit. They were really into it. And that in this moment, the what could have defined him growing up, well, you never think about things like that.
And that's why I just thought it was a powerful story too, because like it's one of the moments that we've talked about, and you
started bringing it up, brother. I was like sweating and shit. Yeah. I was like, oh god, not that one. What did Paula Deen do? I don't remember.
I mean, and that's
because
the thing.
Because did she say in an interview that she all she did was say it, or was she calling people it?
I don't know.
Because I never said hard R. Okay, I used it in a brotherly fashion.
Yeah,
solidarity
as a child,
as an 8-year-old child.
Yeah,
right.
Well, and that's another thing. And like, I'm not saying that it's ever okay, but like, if you learn and you grow, like that's the key. And in those moments,
I grew. I did not learn.
Well, you learned not to say that, so you learned a little bit.
That was a fat, dumb joke. I thought it was pretty good. I grew. I did not learn. We got to do that's how we get clips, man. That's how we get people to fucking share this in the Reddits and stuff and fucking on social media is when I say a joke, you just laugh like it's the funniest thing you've ever heard.
Have you ever heard me just laugh?
Like it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, one of those laughs where you can't fucking breathe. That's how, I know those podcasters are fake that do that fucking laugh. Because when I do it, it's not even funny. It's scary. Like, it's like someone can't breathe. And I'm just like sitting there fucking dying. We got to do that though, man. That's how podcasts work. That's what people want.
Not ours.
Dylan, how are we going to fucking get to the big time?
The glory land.
I'm telling you, there's one way to get to the big time. Cheat code. I got to find a way to get on Joe Rogan. I got to do it.
I still like our method of using, if you don't share this podcast, you love the devil.
That's right, yes. So, guys, share the podcast with somebody. Like, share it to a friend in need that wants to laugh. I probably wouldn't share it to somebody who's, like, real, I don't know, driven on canceling people, though.
Yeah, don't
do that. Like, 8 years old, there's no excuse. Like, everybody's just holier than thou, too. I can't stand that. Shit, I would have never done that. Yes, the fuck you would have. Everybody has fucked up in their life. Listen. And that's why a lot of those people that were like, we need to cancel people, they would have shit come out about them. And then, the people underneath would eat them and they would get to the top and then they would have something come out about them. And there's this fucking crazy thing, okay, that nobody gets, okay? People are not perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect human being. Everybody has mistakes. Are there some mistakes that should warrant you losing if you have fame or something like that? Yeah, absolutely.
If you're hurting other people.
Like if you're going out, yes, anything that hurts, physically hurts, takes away the innocence from, absolutely. Something that fucking affects somebody. Saying a joke, brother.
Even if it's
humor is humor. Humor is where we go to escape, reality. Reality is a tough thing to live in. It sucks. Like reality is based around we live and we die. That's a tough thing to wrap your head around. Comedy is humor and comedy are the escape to that. It's a place where you can say terrible things. That is like a mirror image of our world to poke fun at it. Yeah. And anytime somebody does that, they don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, have I heard terrible attempts at it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where I'm just like, brother, I don't want to go say, hey, don't say that, but I want to be like, well, maybe comedy ain't for you. Like if they go just funny. Head first into it, and I'm just like, you didn't.
I've told many people that their jokes weren't funny because they were just terrible jokes. They weren't even a joke. It was just, some sort of discrimination of some sort against somebody.
I told you about the first day I worked at the box shop I worked at, and the assistant came up and he was like, he said some kind of rating. He was like, what's the difference between a black person and something else? And then it was like something terrible.
Yeah.
How all black jokes go. And I just looked at him and I was like, yeah, my wife's black and my daughter's mixed. They are both white, by the way. White as ghosts.
But you put somebody in an awkward position right there.
Well, I was also being funny too. Yeah. So, but it's once again one of those good learning experiences of why the fuck would you say it here right now?
Why do you feel comfortable?
Right. What do I give off that makes you like, oh man, fuck?
Yep.
Because it was the first day. Maybe we had a smitten of conversation in between there before he was just like, yep. I can just fucking do it right here. And I was just like, I said that. And then he was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm fucking with you, bro. And then he was just like,
But yeah,
it became a funny moment. But I wouldn't go that far. Once you're like, I don't know, being hateful. Yeah. There's some comics who they can thread it really, really well. Like get to the point where you feel it's not okay, like you're scared. It was like Daniel Tosh, his one where it was like, look, the slavery's wrong, but it was impressive. They are fucking more athletically gifted than us. So the fact that white people pulled that off, that was a joke that Daniel Tosh told. And that was a great way to do it.
Poking fun at like white people being like not as strong and everything.
And then Kramer's like the other universe of that, where it was just like, bro,
go on a tirade.
Yeah. And where he was like, because at first he was like, it was part of the bit.
Can I tell
which I kind of half-ass believe sometimes.
Can I tell my 4-year-old's favorite joke?
Yeah.
Why didn't the toilet paper cross the road?
Why?
Because it got stuck in a crack.
Listen, I love a good dad joke that has a pun in it. And I've already heard that one. That's the only reason I wasn't just sitting here laughing. I should have gave you guys
he got it told by a 4-year-old, so it was that much better. But I love it. It
was adorable too, yeah. 4-year-olds, man, they get such a fucking pass on comedy. Oh, yeah. Like they say a bad joke.
And you still have to laugh.
Yeah, and they're adorable doing it, so it makes it funnier. Me, I tell a joke. People are just like, brother, my mom just died. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. This has been a long podcast. This is kind of I guess we've given them the mirror image of last podcast, where we were more concise, down to the point, did the stories. Now they get the polar opposite of that. So if they do fuck with it, we'll be able to see.
Yeah,
we're able to see all on the analytics.
Oh yes,
and what we don't see is you sending it to your friends. Okay, you send it to it's my dream one day to be just to see it randomly while I'm on Reddit and just oh man,
somebody likes us.
through my whole content creation journey, I was like, man, just one time I'd like to see my name pop up just in a comment, just an offhand. You're reading like a fucking post that has nothing to do with it. And then you see somebody there, because I've fucking commented those plenty of times about like either a celebrity or a fucking content creator. I was like, just one time, just something about. I'm like, oh man, Michael told me about this one.
I've been searching to see if anybody's said anything, and I haven't seen anything at all.
Not a single recommendation. They don't love us, man. And like I said, we're a guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
we're like wrestling at the age of 30. Listen, I know a lot of WWE people. Dylan will tell you too. I know possibly everything about wrestling, to a point where we was like, oh, we should make like a wrestling channel, just because I fixate on things a lot and it's autism. All right, look, I don't know, something's wrong with me. I fixate on things. I do not watch wrestling at all,
but you keep up with it.
I know every fucking thing that's ever happened. I just watch videos on it too, and I like to watch a lot of history stuff. So I grew up during the whole fucking WWF NWO times, Monday Night Wars. So I watched a documentary on that, and I was just like, oh, I would like to learn more about this. And then I learned fucking golden era stuff, fucking pre-golden era, fucking new stuff. I especially keep up with that now, because it looks like the content creators I watched giving me the old stuff. Then they come out with a new thing, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch that too. So they're just one of the ones I just turn on, and I'm just like, oh wow, that happened. Crazy. But I'll talk to somebody. They'll be like, you watch wrestling? I'm like, oh no, but I mean, I'll watched it when I was a kid.
You want to talk about it? I'll talk
right, and then I out-talk them about it. And they're like, God damn. I was like, fuck yeah, man. I don't know.
Did you watch last night's? No, I'm waiting for the YouTube to come out about it. And
yeah.
I'll get the breakdown and on the clip notes of what happened.
Yeah, I don't have 3 of them that'll give me a fucking pretty good breakdown about everything that happened. So, and then kind of like one's in kind of like a podcast format. So I watch podcasts if they're on YouTube. I just have to have the video version of it.
Yeah.
So I could watch it on my
which we have on Spotify too. So
we do have the video version on Spotify. But yeah, guys, comment down, let us what you know, and we will see you next time.
Later.